I'm Tommie Lee, and this is the Scam of the Week. Once again, the president and CEO of your Better Business Bureau serving Northern Indiana is Jan Diaz, joining us once again. Jan, how are you?
Good. I'm doing good, Tommie. Good morning.
So graduation season pretty much wrapped up now. A lot of families still celebrating what comes next. We got new jobs, college plans, apartments, loan paperwork, all the big decisions that come after the cap and gown. But Jan, you have a warning for us about every recent graduate and every family needing to hear this information. We're talking about scams that tend to show up right after the ceremony.
Yeah, Tommie, that is exactly right. And it's too bad that we even have to talk about these scams after graduation takes place, because graduation really should be an exciting and hopeful time for these students who have graduated. But life transitions are exactly when these scammers show up. So recent graduates, they're starting jobs, they're signing leases, they're trying to manage their money, and they're making important decisions quickly. And so that combination of excitement and pressure and busyness is exactly what these scammers are looking for.
So even after the graduation day's over with, the scams are very much active and they are targeted.
Absolutely. And today I want graduates and families to be aware of two specific scams. The first are unpaid tuition scams, and the second is student loan scams. And both of these can show up after graduation, and both of these scams can be very convincing.
Let's start with the unpaid tuition scam, Jan. What does that actually look like?
Yeah, a recent graduate may get an unexpected phone call or an email or text message claiming that they still owe tuition or fees to their college or university. So the message may sound official. It may include the school's name or logo, or even language that feels and sounds legitimate. And then comes the threat. So the message will say things like, pay immediately, or your diploma will be withheld, or pay now, or your transcript will be frozen.
Those kind of messages would definitely get somebody's attention, especially if they need that transcript or the degree verification paperwork to get their job.
Exactly. And that's the pressure point, because the scammer knows that a recent graduate may need a transcript or a diploma or a degree confirmation for employment. Things like graduate school, they're making these applications. They may need licensing. So the scammer creates urgency and fear around that exact issue.
So the scammer's not just asking for money, they're threatening something that the graduate really needs.
Yeah, that's right. And words like collections, legal action, account hold, frozen transcript, those words are designed to trigger panic. And when someone is panicking, they're less likely to slow down and verify the message. And quite honestly, they just want the problem to go away.
Exactly. So that's where the graduate pays before checking whether or not the message is even real.
Yeah, it can happen. And some scammers go even further. They may spoof the school's actual phone number, so the call appears to come from the registrar's office or student accounts office. And the scammer may also copy logos or email formatting or letterhead from the school's real website, really anything to make that message look authentic.
Even a person who's very careful can be fooled easily by this.
Yeah, that's right, Tommie. And the student loan scams work a little differently, but the pressure is very similar. A scammer contacts a graduate and they promise fast loan forgiveness and lower monthly payments or special access to a repayment program. And that's when the scammer asks for an upfront processing fee.
So it sounds kind of like, pay us today and we'll fix your student loans.
Yeah, it does. And for a graduate who's looking at rent and groceries and a new job, or maybe not even having a job lined up yet, that type of promise can sound like relief. And scammers know financial stress makes people emotional, and emotions, trying to make decisions that way, can happen quickly when you don't want it to. And so making a quick decision is what these scammers are counting on. And this is where the student loan scam can even become more serious, because some scammers ask for federal student aid login information, or they ask for social security numbers or even bank account information. And so they claim that they need this information to process the forgiveness request or lower the monthly payment.
So what begins as a student loan scam can actually turn into identity theft really easily.
Yes, and it can happen so quickly because a graduate thinks they're solving a loan problem, but they may actually be handing a scammer access to sensitive financial information.
So, Jan, what do the recent graduates and their families need to do? What are the practical steps?
Yeah, there are four things to remember. The first thing is contact the school or loan servicer directly using the official website. So don't use the phone number or link that you've received in a message demanding payment. If someone contacts you claiming you owe money to your school, stop and look up the correct number yourself.
Because, of course, the number in that message could go straight back to the scammer.
Yeah, exactly. And second, never share your federal student aid login information with anyone who contacts you unexpectedly. So that login gives access to sensitive financial records. A legitimate program is not going to ask for that information through a random call, email, or even a text message.
No matter how official the message sounds, that request is a red flag.
Always. And third, just be very cautious of anyone threatening immediate consequences like diploma holds, transcript freezes, collections, or even legal action, because real schools and loan servicers have a formal process. So they don't typically pressure people into immediate payment through a scary text message or a phone call.
And what's the fourth step?
Yeah, fourth, just research any loan forgiveness offers before sending money. Legitimate federal student loan help is free, and the government does not charge processing fees for student loan forgiveness programs.
Right.
Yeah, so if a company demands an upfront payment in exchange for forgiveness, it is a major warning sign.
These sound like simple steps, but panic can make people forget what they know, especially when time is of the essence.
Yeah, it's so true. And that's why talking to someone else can help. If a graduate gets a scary message about tuition or transcripts, student loans, they should first call a parent, a friend, a mentor, or the school directly before responding. So if another person hears the situation, they may say, wait, something feels off here. You just need that other person to help you process it, because scammers want people to feel isolated and rushed. So talking it through with someone you can trust can stop the scam before money or information is lost.
Exactly. That outside perspective can and does make a big difference. Jan, what should somebody do if they realize that they've already responded to one of these scams? Because they do look realistic. There's no shame in it.
Yes, exactly. And first, stop all communication with the scammer immediately. So if you've shared a password or login credentials, change those passwords right away. And also update any other account that uses the same password. And then contact your bank and credit card company as soon as possible. The sooner you contact them, the better your chances of stopping a transaction or recovering some of the money. So we say don't wait.
That call needs to happen right away.
It does. And then report what happened. You can file a report at BBB Scam Tracker at bbb.org/scam tracker. You can also file a report with the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov. Every report is going to help warn other graduates and families before another person goes through the same experience.
And it's worth saying again, falling for a scam doesn't mean you're foolish.
Yeah, Tommy, that's so important because these scammers are professionals. They know how to create fear. They try to make it sound urgent. They try to cause confusion, and anyone can get caught off guard, especially during a major life transition. And so there's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of.
Exactly. Graduation might be over with, but the next season brings plenty of pressure all by itself.
Yeah, you got that right, because a recent graduate should be able to move into this next chapter with confidence. So a little caution, a quick phone call, and a few extra minutes to verify can keep a scammer from turning turning an exciting season into a financial setback.
Absolutely. Jan, thank you so much as always. And to every recent graduate out there, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, when you get these kind of offers, slow down, verify before you pay. Do not share any login information with anybody who reaches out to you unexpectedly. You worked way too hard to get here to let a scammer take advantage of the next step in your life. Thank you, Jan. And we will talk to you again next week on the Scam of the Week.
Sounds good, Tommie. Thank you.
Podcasts by Federated Media.